You've heard of the Invisible Man. You've heard of the Invisible Woman. You've even heard of the mystery of the Invisible Audience. But now, brace yourselves for Invisible Ghost, starring the iconic Bela Lugosi. Aren't all ghosts invisible? Invisible Ghost starts off the way every good film should, with Bela Lugosi talking to an empty chair.
Good evening, my dear.
I know, don't be mean, Mr. Haunted Blowfish. His wife ran off with another man and got in a fatal car accident. Who cares if he still wants to share an evening snack with her? You can't help but feel sorry for Mr. Kessler. Lugosi brings a softness to the character. He treats his family, friends and service staff with a soft-spoken and friendly demeanour. Who cares if he goes a little mad sometimes? Well, maybe we should, seeing as the body count is piling up steadily even before the opening credits. Yes indeed, Lugosi has found himself at the centre of another haunted house scenario. He fears for his daughter and friends, while taunted by visions of his supposedly dead wife. It's a race to catch the killer before everyone else is 6 feet under. To say any more about the plot is both redundant and ill-advised. You could say it's a standard mystery killer in a haunted house plot, so no more needs to be said. And to go into any more detail would end up in spoiler territory. The central mystery may appear pretty clear-cut, but the film does a decent job of offering small twists here and there, allowing the audience to second-guess themselves every 5 minutes. The direction from Joseph H. Lewis dazzles from time to time, several years before he would find huge critical acclaim with Gun Crazy. The supporting cast are average, with the exception of Clarence Muse as Mr. Kessler's butler, Evans. It's a very natural performance, and the most likeable of the ensemble. Even when people try to give him shit, he is a master of diffusing the situation.
Hey, where were you on the night of January the 13th?
Have you had your coffee yet?
No!
But, as you've probably figured out by now, I selected this film because of its star. The fact that it already took over 20 episodes to shine a light on the King of Capes is embarrassing enough for me, but here we are. Invisible Ghost is a notable benchmark in Bela Lugosi's career. After a very successful period of horrors and dark thrillers in the early 1930s, Lugosi lamented how typecast he had become. He and his agent notified studios of his greater ambitions, and, despite many auditions, Lugosi was rarely offered roles outside of horror. Oh well, at least he was getting paid, right? Wrong. Bada boom! The horror drought of the late 30s struck Lugosi hard, and left him largely out of work, just as his son was born, forcing him to borrow money from the Actors Fund of America. Horror returned in 1939, as did Lugosi, but Universal still favoured their golden boy Boris Karloff. Incidentally, Lugosi gravitated towards independent film instead. During this era he met Sam Katzman, the producer at Monogram Pictures, who specialised in low-budget thrillers. The pair seemed a good fit. Lugosi earned a steady paycheck and star billing, while Katzman could profit off of Lugosi's name and brand. They ended up creating a total of 9 films together, the first of which was Invisible Ghost. By the end of their run of films together, Lugosi was sinking into what would become a debilitating morphine addiction, stemming from medication to combat a very painful case of sciatica. His troubles were well known. He was among the first actors to openly and publicly admit to a drug addiction, but it killed what little remained of his career. It is a heartbreaking story. Even in lower rent fare such as Invisible Ghost, it's hard to deny that Lugosi channels a certain unique mystique about him. The face, the voice, the physicality. He is undoubtedly an icon, and whatever the material, he still appears to be putting in the effort. Invisible Ghost is not Lugosi's best, and it's certainly not among his worst. But it is a solid, lesser-known entry that I would recommend to any Lugosi fans.